lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara, Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber bomb, campanazo. Aquí viene el lanzamiento, swing y lo ponchó. Ponche de Alvarado, amigos. Hello, good evening and welcome to Phillies Weekly, a very special Phillies Weekly with a couple of the greatest guys there is, beat writers of the Phillies here. Anthony SanFilippo is in the house, and Tim Kelly. Tim, it's not as fun, Anthony. What can I
Yeah,
well, Tim Kelly.
I get the second billing, apparently.
Well, I mean, your name's not nearly as exciting, Tim.
No,
so
it's not.
Come on, Tim. Let's change the name, man. Let's change the name. I mean, come on. We got to learn from Ricky Ricardo again. Come on. Hey, guys, it's real fun to be here with all of you today. A very special Phillies Weekly because it's playoff special. I mean, the Phillies had a wonderful season, 96 wins. I mean, I had predicted if we go back to the first show that we won 95 games and we won 96. So they surpassed my expectations. And look, this team felt good since the very beginning. I think Dave Dombrowski did a fabulous job. But first of all, guys, welcome to the show. Anthony, how you doing, brother?
Doing fantastic, Oscar. Fantastic.
You ready for Red October?
Well, I mean, how can you not be ready? I mean, you go through the – so it's like – so I compare this – you know I have a theater background, right? So I compare this as like the 162-game season is like the rehearsal process, right? And then the performances are the playoffs. And so like you spend all this time and work all this time to get to this point. This is what it is. This is the bright lights and the big stage and the big crowd. This is the best time of year for everybody, for the players, for the fans, for us as reporters and broadcasters. This is the best time of the baseball season, bar none.
Absolutely. Team, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I shouldn't say always. Last year and this year, I convinced myself this is going to be like a nice week off in between the regular season and the postseason. I'd almost just rather they'd be playing.
I am going to make a recommendation to the Phillies. I mean, they're going to kill me for this, but I would get Jalen Hurts to go into their locker room and give a speech there of how you have a winning mentality. This dude is in NFL, right? NFL, one game in the NFL, it's like 10 games in the regular season for baseball. This dude have won 18 games in a row. I mean, including playoffs. This guy is incredible. I mean, with this guy and his ability to, get the noise out and focus on what needs to happen to have a winning football is just incredible. I mean,
well, he'll say, keep the main thing, and all the cliches.
Look, but beyond that, the guy wins, dude. The guy wins. It's the best example winning that we have in the city and we probably have in the nation. This dude is a winner. I mean, when everybody doubts him, he makes it happen. I mean, he missed all the throws in the second half of the game yesterday, and he won the game. He found a way to win the game. And I think the Phillies need to have this mentality. Look, we've done it 3 years. This is the fourth round. I mean, we need to go in and have that mindset of finding a way to win no matter what. It might look ugly. It might not look pretty, but we need to have that kind of edge and that mentality as we approach this postseason. Because let's be clear, there's not going to be many postseasons where you're going to have Schwarber, you're going to have Realmuto, you're going to have Harper, you're going to have not Harper, but Realmuto and Ranger Suarez and a lot of these guys. Look, it's now or never for this team. I mean, this team is not a young team. It's now or never, and we need to have kind of that mindset, I believe, going into this postseason.
Well, I would say the Phillies over the last 3 years are 20-14 in the postseason. So I do see a lot of people say like, oh, this group hasn't won. They have won.
They have.
Baseball is different than other sports. 2020 last year was not good. No excuses. The year before should not have blown it in game 6 and 7, but you did make it to the NLCS. 2022, I've seen some people like kind of rewrite history and say that was their chance. The Astros were a much better team than the Phillies that year. 20-14 overall is a good record, but yeah, ultimately this era is going to be judged by whether they get over the hump or not, and this might be the last opportunity.
Well, you know it's trophy. You know it's trophy culture, right, guys? I mean, everything is you win a trophy or it's not a success. I was always told in hockey that when you look up at the out-of-town scoreboard and there is no other game being played on the out-of-town scoreboard, that means you had a successful season, right? So that's just kind of how it should be. And so if you are making it to the league championship series, that should be considered a success. But I do understand why people are the way they are. And here's something I had a discussion with Bob on Fighting Words earlier today. We said, if the Phillies went 96-66, like let's imagine the last 3 years did not happen, right? Let's imagine this was the first year that the Phillies were going to be making the playoffs. And they went 96-66. Same stuff that happened this year happened. Same exact things with the Alvarado suspension and the Wheeler injury and Nola being bad. Like everything was exactly the same. If at 96-66, this city would be on fire right now in support of this team. The reality is that fans are a little bit negative or not believing or extra nervous because of what happened each of the last 3 seasons.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the only reason.
I mean, this.
Well, and I would say, like, I like your analogy of looking up at the out-of-town scoreboard. The problem is when you look up at the out-of-town scoreboard at Citizens Bank Park now, you see Herr's kettle chips commercials.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on. Hey, come on. You see the Rantula coming in. I mean, come on. You see all the exciting things. Look, this team has all the ingredients to win the World Series. I mean, it's very sad to what happened to Zach Wheeler. I mean, we all are going to miss that guy. He's such a special player, but beyond that, he's such a special guy. I mean, somebody that goes about his business better than anyone. I mean, look, we're going to miss this guy, but the reality is, I mean, Christopher Sanchez stepped up this year in ways that, I mean, if you ask me, he's probably, and I know Tanner Banks had a great year, and I don't want to take anything away from Tanner Banks, but the reality is, that, I mean, Christopher Sanchez, I mean, carried this team a great deal. Jesus Luzardo, take my hat off. My hat goes off to Dave Dombrowski for making an unbelievable trade with the guy. I mean, the guy won the most games in this team. I mean, it's amazing what Jesus Luzardo has done, and we know what Ranger is capable of doing. So you got 3 tremendous starters, and we know Aaron was hurt, and he didn't have the best season out there. They brought Bueller that has experience. I mean, this team over the last 2 months, this team has also felt different from a hitting standpoint. Everybody's contributing to wins versus in the past where you only depended on Schwarber, on Harper, and then Turner toward the beginning of this year. So it feels a little bit different than in the past.
Yeah, I would certainly say it does. Rob Thompson said this was probably the most consistent team that he's had over these 4 years, and I would agree with that. 2022, you had to scrap and claw to get in. Last year, you were great in the first half and kind of mid in the second half. This year, like, it's been relatively steady throughout the course of the season, and I think that's what gives you the hope. And yeah, you did lose Zach Wheeler. If the Phillies didn't lose Zach Wheeler, they'd be the overwhelming favorites to win the World Series right now. But even as is, you go through the top 5 pitchers in the postseason. I was doing this for an article I was writing for Bleacher Report today in terms of the aces in the postseason. Yeah, you know, you don't have number 1, Tarek Skubal, Garrett Crochet, but not far after that is Christopher Sanchez. He's 3 or 4 probably in terms of the pitchers that are going to be going in the playoffs. So you still have a really, really good top of the rotation.
This is opportunity, but hey, what else can we have but be joined by the legend, the one and only Nick Piccone? How you doing, Nick?
Man, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, Oscar.
Man, you're the man, dude. You're the man. Thank you for all the magic. I mean,
Are
you warming up for whatever is coming? I mean, make sure you get those Dodgers fans mad, huh?
Hey, or Reds fans. Don't matter.
Or Red fans, of course, yeah. Of course. I mean, we got to do respect to to the Reds. So look, guys, let's
Oscar, real quick before we go to the first topic, Tim talked about it said that if they had Zach Wheeler, they'd be the overwhelming favorite for the World Series, right?
I agree.
Without Zach Wheeler, and this is I just decided to pull it up. I'm looking at DraftKings, so every sports book has something different, but the Phillies are the favorite at plus 425 to win the World Series. They have better odds than the Dodgers, who are plus 500. The next best team is the Mariners. Oh, you already have it.
Wow, this is great production.
Look at this production value.
I mean, come on, Dango. What do you think? I mean, what do you
Oscar,
think?
you're professional.
What else you want? You want me to put the World Series trophy and the Phillies carrying it?
Exactly it. But yeah, the Mariners are 450. Yeah, it's so they are, even though they don't have Zach Wheeler, they're still the favorite. And you know what I think that's indicative of, guys? I think that's more indicative of the fact that this is such a wide open playoff bracket. I have a hard time picking anything in this bracket with any kind of feeling like, oh, I'm feeling pretty certain about that selection. I don't have one series where I go, oh yeah, that's going to happen. Like the Dodgers against the Reds are probably the most likely. But even that, I don't think is a gimme. I think that the Reds could give them a hard time. There is not one series I look at in this playoff and go, oh yeah, that team's going to win over the other team. It's such a wide open postseason, and I think the Phillies have just as good a shot as anybody else to win the whole thing.
Well, trust me, I got a lot better charts than those. I can guarantee you that. Just hang tight and wait to see where it's coming, dude. We're bringing the whole thing. I mean, there we go. Look, I like Darwin here. Let's go, Phils. Let's go. Let's make it happen, guys. Let's make it happen. Let's be positive, he says also. So let me, of course, let me pull this back and start from where the show needs to begin.
I wasn't expecting that, Oscar. I really wasn't.
Come on, dude. From me, come on, dude. I'm always bringing it. So hold on. I'm going to the beginning of slides. I mean, I got to start from the very beginning, kind of where everything starts and is here, right? I mean, we have to be thankful. This back-to-back National League East champions. This is the 13th times that we win it. I mean, you see there. I know some of you were not here last week. I brought this slide last week. I mean, Phillies have been in 142 years in Philadelphia, and this is the 13th time that we win a divisional championship. I mean, it is a big deal, guys. I mean, it happens once every more than 10 years. If you start counting. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's maybe gotten watered down by the amount of playoff spots you have, but I disagree with people when they say, well, the Phillies shouldn't celebrate the division title. Sure. Yes, they should. It's a huge accomplishment over the course of an 162-game season. It doesn't mean that's your biggest goal, but winning that is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Now the next deal is how do we win the National League Championship? And I want them to have that Hurts mentality. No matter what, whatever it takes. I mean, if you have to bunt, you bunt. If you have to run, if you have to sacrifice yourself, do what it's required to do it. I mean, that needs to be the mindset, in my opinion. But again, it's my humble opinion on this. So let's talk a little bit about some of the important accomplishments. And I wanted to kind of bring three on top. First of all, kudos to Trey Turner. Despite being hurt, he wins the National League batting title. So kudos to him. Schwarber won two things this year. Number one, he's the RBI leader in Major League Baseball, 132s. Kudos to him. But he's also the National League home run champ. So kudos to him as well. 56. He ended up the year a couple behind Ryan Howard. But hey, he needs to come next year and beat Ryan Howard. How about that? I mean, prediction: he beats Ryan Howard next year. How about that? with a Phillies uniform. The next one, I'm not sure who the Reds or somebody else's team has as the batting champ. I don't know. Maybe Foster or somebody like that is the one that has the most home runs. You know what? It could be Eugenio Suarez, believe it or not. I think he had 49 home runs a couple of years ago, but for the Reds. But I'm not sure which is the number for the Reds. But we don't care about that. We only care about the Phil. And kudos to Christopher Sanchez. What an unbelievable year. 250 ERA. He's probably going to be in the running among the top three starters in the National League or the top three pitchers to potentially win the Cy Young. Probably Skeens is going to win it for the second year in a row, but he deserves the kudos of being highlighted. And thank to the Phillies for putting this wonderful graphics out there for us to take advantage of them. Any thoughts on this three guys?
I do think Skeens will win it. Last year he won Rookie of the Year. This year he'll be Cy Young. Just one of the best young pitchers that baseball's ever seen, probably. But Sanchez, to me, is clearly number 2. You have some other guys. Freddie Peralta had a really good year. There's some other guys in the mix, but to me, Sanchez edges out like him and Logan Webb and some of the other options. Same with Schwarber. I think he's going to be second in MVP voting to Shohei Ohtani. And, Ohtani's going to become the second guy ever to win 4 MVPs. Barry Bonds is the only other one. So that tells you the company Ohtani's in. But for Schwarber, I never would have thought in a million years that someone would get this close to Ryan Howard. I thought that was pretty close to untouchable. The fact that we were down to the final week where is Kyle Schwarber going to break this record, tie this record, whatever the case is, it was an amazing season for him. And then Trey Turner deserves a lot of credit. Anthony can speak on this, but Rob Thompson asked him to have a certain approach coming into the season. He bought into that, and he won an NL batting title using it.
Absolutely. I mean, beating Arise and stopping Arise streak of 3 batting titles with 3 different teams. So it's this year he would have won it again with the San Diego Padres, but that was a tremendous feat. So let's go a little bit.
Real quick, Oscar. Just as you like to have me throw out some history for you here on these kinds of things. I know you love this stuff. So obviously Trey Turner's first Philly to win a batting title since 1958. We all heard that, Richie Ashburn, right? But this was only the third time in the last 72 years that teammates won the Triple Crown outright. There's been a couple ties, but only the third time it's been outright won by teammates. The last time was the 1969 Twins with Rod Carew and Harmon Killebrew. And then before that, 1954 Cleveland Indians, Bobby Avila, and then Larry Doby. The last time it happened in the National League was 1941 with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Pete Reiser won the batting title, and Dolph Camilli won the home run title and RBI title.
Not as good as SanFilippo. No, not as good as SanFilippo there.
Right? Think about that. So it's just that's how rare that this kind of is. That what just happened with those guys this year.
Beautiful. I mean, look, it's special. I mean, these 3 guys have been very, very special. I mean, there are other guys. Tanner Banks deserves tons of credit. That guy did an incredible job coming out of the bullpen. Look, Duran have brought the excitement to the 9th inning. Now it's his responsibility to deliver. I mean, the hype is there. The delivery needs to be a little bit more consistent, but his stuff is unreal, and he has great numbers in the postseason, which is a great thing, and we'll see that in a couple of minutes. So stealing from our friends from Extra Base, which are really good. If you don't follow that page, you should follow it. I mean, they have great information. I put here, we won 13 games ahead of the Mets. The Mets lost, guys. They didn't make the postseason. How about that, Nick? Are you enjoying that one?
It's a shame.
Nick, come on, Nick. Come on, dude. It's a shame.
I wouldn't have minded facing them in the playoffs because I just thought they were kind of sputtering their way. And if they were able to maybe eke their way to a two game win out of 3 in the wild card. But listen, I guess it's fine that we don't have to face them.
Nick, just for fun, how many times did you go through and re-listen to all those calls that you put out on Twitter?
Just from yesterday or the whole season? Because,
you could put here's an idea, put a compilation together of all the best Mets calls.
I do like reading the comments. So I'll read a comment, and if I'll go back and listen to maybe because when I'm listening to it, like I might miss something, like I might be doing more than one thing at a time. But yeah, man, it's just like, it's fun picking up things that you might not have heard the first time around. So I do enjoy, the day after re-listen quite a bit. So
listen to the Rams broadcasters after what happened last week. I mean, that was the guys in Spanish. I got their video. They were like, my God.
Man.
Oh my God. They were like dying. One of them went to the ground. I mean, it's like they couldn't believe it. So, look, very exciting stuff. We're coming to Red October. There's nothing like Red October and the Phillies, and we're looking forward to it. Here's what happened in the wild card. It was very interesting this year compared to other years. How many teams had the same records, like the Yankees and the Blue Jays, and the edge of the Blue Jays over the regular season? What happened with the Mets? They ended up with the same record as the Reds, and the Reds had the regular season series, so they surpassed them. So it was, to me, it was really, really interesting. The same thing let me see here, in the Central. So actually the Tigers lost yesterday, so they were a game behind, but they were tied coming into
they finished tied with Houston
for
the last wild card spot, but Detroit got in because of the tiebreaker.
Yeah, the same thing. So I was very, very surprised how tighter the races were this year in most of the divisions compared to past years. So that was something. And then here are the leaders. Again, this is from El Extra Base and what they do. Here are the leaders for every category. So you have in average 304 Trey Turner. You got Arraez with the most hits. I think he was I think Trey Turner was 2 hits behind Arraez, despite the fact missing all those games. Schwarber with 56 home runs in the National League, and he won the most RBIs. OPS, you see Ohtani there. You see O'Neal Cruz with base on balls. Was that? Stolen bases with 38. Then you see Freddie Peralta. You were talking about him in terms of games won, the case by Logan Webb, and so on. So, again, anything surprise you this year in terms of a lot of the winners of these categories by any chance?
No, I mean, if you're talking about the whole thing, I would still probably vote for Aaron Judge for MVP in the AL, but the season that Cal Raleigh had is just probably the greatest season a catcher's ever had, realistically.
I vote for Kyle Riley, to be honest with you. I mean, I know Judge have done a great job. He wins in OPS, in home runs, and all that.
He wins by like 100 points. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The average.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the one thing that I push back against the Cal Raleigh greatest season ever for a catcher, only a little bit, because I think I'm not trying to knock the season, but catchers don't normally DH on their off days. He DH'd a lot this year because he was chasing this home run record, right? So normally a catcher's not getting the amount of at-bats that Cal Raleigh got. So that's not to say that that's still not the greatest season by catcher. Certainly is, home run-wise, for sure. But he did get a few extra at-bats this year.
Yeah, but it wasn't like Salvador Perez or somebody that plays it like he was still catching the bulk of his starts.
Oh, sure, for sure. There's no doubt. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but my point is that, when Piazza was playing, if he had the opportunity to be the designated hitter on his off days, he certainly would have, and who knows what kind of numbers he might have put up. And Cal Raleigh played 159 games and had 705 plate appearances. I don't know how many catchers you could say do that, right? I mean, that's a lot for a catcher.
Crochet or Skubal? Who wins the Cy Young in the American League?
Skubal. Yeah, Skubal.
Crochet, I can't wait to see. I can wait. The drama of that series between the Yankees and the Red Sox is going to be incredible. I mean, that's going to be must-see TV. I was talking to Eduardo Perez last night. We were in a show together, and it's going to be must-see TV.
I was trying to watch that show, Oscar, for a little bit.
You were yesterday.
The Carlos Baerga show. I was watching.
Yeah. I had an issue with the internet, dude. I had to go to my car and go live in that thing. So no,
I think the drama
is pretty sharp. I mean, I love Eduardo Perez. He's really, really sharp.
Yeah. The drama of Tigers Guardians might be even better because they played last year. Skubal's like a showman. I think that's going to be really – and they played each other a bunch recently too. So you start to build up some bad blood in that time.
And I want to ask you guys an opinion. I'm curious what all three of you think. So when Oscar was showing the standings earlier, we were talking about all the teams that were tied. in both leagues, you had the final wild card spot was determined by a tiebreaker. Do you miss the 1-game playoff, game 163, at all?
It's too much. I just think there shouldn't be 3 wild card teams. I think there should
Well,
be.
I
think
agree
there
with
should
you
be
on that.
2 wild cards, and only the number 1 seed gets the bye. That would be.
I agree with you on that, but I'm saying in general, if 2 teams are tied for the last playoff spot, regardless of what seeding it is, do you think there should be a 1-game to determine it?
I think it's not practical with how long the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. But I can tell you this. One of the first things I remember when I was very, very, very young, it was that series, that extra game between the Yankees and the Red Sox in Fenway Park. I'll remember it was in the afternoon, and I'll never forget that day.
Yeah,
and I remember the Rockies and the Padres playing that extra one, the one where Matt Holliday never actually touched it.
Yeah, he was out. But no, I'm totally on board with like I buy in when it's a winner or go home situation. So like as a fan, I always found that exciting. But if like my team was involved, I might be a little skittish about it. Luckily, the Phillies never had that one.
Not if you came up on the losing end of the tiebreaker, though, right, Nick?
Right, exactly. Yeah, but listen, I'm always tuned into that. Like that 1-game wild card, I would always like.
It's so much drama. It's great.
Imagine if you needed 3 games to separate. I mean, Reds and Mets and Houston and Detroit. I mean, it would have been crazy. I mean, today would have been crazy, and then they'll need to start and fly over to Cleveland or whatever to start the series. It would have been wild.
It would have been fun.
Hey, but you know what? It's not bad. The drama that happens today about what's coming in tomorrow is good. I think it's good for baseball as well. I mean, because everybody's talking about it. I mean, Yankees, Red Sox, who's going to win? So let's get moving here. I'll move quickly over this slides that we've seen in the past. This is how the Phillies ended the season. In terms, so we ended up 5-5. I mean, we did not have the best ending there in terms of the last 10 games, but some of the games, I mean, we were winning 1-0 or whatever. We just trying to go through the grind of the season. We have the best record in baseball. I'll stop in certain things. We have the best record in baseball at home, number 1. Everybody else have 54 wins or less, and we have the 5th best record away games in all of baseball with 41-40. 31-21 in the National League East. We were in 45-35, and we'll look at more about 500. When I did a comparison of all the teams that are in the playoffs and how they did against 500 teams that are about 500 and above, it'll be very, very interesting. I think when you look at the month by month, one thing that I believe, we have momentum. We have momentum entering the playoff like we have not had in the last few years. 18-11 in August and 17-8 in September. 9-6 in extra innings, I think, and 26-21 with 1-run games. One of the best teams in baseball, if not the best, against right-handed pitching. Left-handed pitching, 23-25. That continues to be an issue, and we have the 5th best run differential in all of baseball, and we won 35 series. And I think we won the most series against winning teams in baseball. So, look, this team, by the numbers, look very, very strong. The reality of left-handed pitching, and interesting, the Dodgers announced a change. It was going to be Yamamoto pitching tomorrow. It's going to be Snell pitching tomorrow. So that was an interesting change that they made at the last minute. I believe Ohtani is pitching game 3. So if they win in 2, maybe we'll face Ohtani in Philly for game 1. That will be fascinating. If the Dodgers win, hopefully the Reds can pull the series there. Anything here, guys, or keep going?
Well, I mean, I think, like you said, you would rather have a good record down the stretch than not. But I do think once the playoff starts, particularly when you have a bye, I don't know how much you don't want to be 8-17 in September, but I don't know how much September really matters once you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. Here's how we go ahead.
I got one thing for you because I got, the stats, Oscar. I come up with them for you.
I love it.
Phillies had, and not that this matters completely, but it does help matter a little bit because if you're going to win a World Series, you're going to have to face 3 of them. The Phillies had the best winning percentage against the playoff teams than any other team against playoff teams. So Phillies were 31-20 against the other 11 playoff teams this year. And that's the best winning percentage of any team that played the playoff.
Repeat that stat again.
So playoff teams versus playoff teams. So the 12 playoff teams playing against each other. Obviously, the number of games are not going to be the same because some divisions got more teams than others, right? So those games they played more games. But the Phillies had the best winning percentage against the other 11 playoff teams of everybody in the playoffs. They went 31-20, which is the best.
Wow.
And they were second in run differential. Dodgers had a slightly better run differential against the playoff teams, but the Phillies were second best.
We'll see a comparison. Not great numbers. I do not have the numbers you have here, but we'll see a few how each team is doing in general. We'll see all the teams here. This is a very interesting chart that keeps week by week. So the Phillies played 27 weeks. We won 16, lost 8, and we tied 3 weeks. But the most interesting part is this is before the All-Star break, and this is after the All-Star break. Remember, we have less weeks after the All-Star break. Before the All-Star break, we went 55-41. We scored 4.44 runs per game. And we allowed 3.91 runs. After the All-Star game, we went 41-25. We had a very, very strong record. But we increased our runs by 0.8 from 4.44 to 5.29. So you can see a lot of the greens here. We hit a lot, but our pitching allowed more runs than in the first half of the year.
If you're gonna score 5.2 runs per game, you're gonna win almost every series you play.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dave Dombrowski talked at the trade deadline about how the Phillies they would make trades, but they needed some guys internally to step up. Well, you made a great trade to get Harrison Bader. He added a jolt, but you also Bryson Stott specifically was so much better than he was in the first half. Brandon Marsh really had an excellent season after April. Alec Boehm came back down the stretch here and played pretty well. So Otto Kemp had some good moments in September. So I think.
And our platoon in right field produced. I mean, our issue was the outfield. We were not producing. So when Bader came in, March took it since May. He started hitting the way he hit. And you platoon in right field, this is a much better team than he was in the first half of the year.
For sure.
And the stats speak by itself. And part of this is Wheeler, right? Losing Wheeler hurts. I mean, there's no doubt about that. So it's part of the dynamic around that. Let's continue here. So we'll go hitting, and we'll move quick over this so we can focus on the postseason. And I have some very interesting things on the postseason to show you. Runs per game. Average, we finished the year as the 8th base team in terms of runs per game. In the first part of the year, similar to what I just showed you, 456 points per game. We were 13th. And in the second half of the year, 515, we were 4th in baseball in terms of runs scored. Same thing with OPS. We were 11th in the first half of the year and 2nd in all of baseball after the All-Star game. We were 4th overall in baseball. I couldn't get the stats for right-handed pitching broken down, but we were 4th OPS against right-handed pitching and 6th against left-handed pitching. And then in terms of OPS with runners in a scoring position, we were the 8th best team in baseball. Issue, as we've talked every single week, is chasing. This number has not improved. This number was 29.7, is up to about 30.3. So it's been, chasing has been increasing steadily, particularly in the second half of the year. So we're chasing a lot more than we were chasing in the middle, even though Castellanos has less at bat and he's our worst chaser of all the chasers that we have in this team. Whiff rate kind of in the middle of the pack. And then I've never known if this is good or bad. First pitch swinging. We've decreased a little bit more because Castellanos has not been in the lineup as much because he's the number 1 free swinger. He likes to hit the first pitch. Turner as well. So 36.0. We're 4th in all of baseball, and it has been decreasing. We were at a point where we were number 1 in baseball, and we're down to 4th. 7th in double, 8th in triples. Here's our home run broken down. First half of the year, 102 home runs, 18th. Second half of the year, 110 home runs, second in baseball. Guess who's number one? The Los Angeles Dodgers. So just keep that in mind. 7th in total extra base hits. And this has remained pretty steady over the last few weeks. We're 10th in baseball in strikeouts, 8.6% of base on balls, 12th in baseball. The average in MLB is like 8.2. That would put you at the 15th mark. And then we are 12th in stolen bases, and that has decreased a little bit since Trey Turner has not been running as much. So that's kind of where anything here, guys, that you want to bring before we go to the next one? Make sense? Okay. I will not stop here. I have the pre and post of the hitting, but I want to move to other stuff, which is, I mean, we know who's being hot and who hasn't with March and Estat, and we've seen Castellanos post. I mean, he's below 600 in OPS, by the way, after the All-Star break. In terms of pitching, so we were the second best team. We're one game from having the best record in baseball from the Milwaukee Brewers. Unfortunately, they won our series 2-4, so they will have the home field advantage on a potential National League against them. But if we play anybody else that is not the Milwaukee Brewers, we start at home. That's a great advantage because I show you that we're the number one team in baseball in terms of home field advantage playing at home. So that's a beautiful thing to have. Our ERA, and we're talking overall first, 3.66 in the first half of the year prior to the All-Star game, 3.99 after the All-Star game. Our pitching in general was 10th in terms of total innings. We were 12th in home runs, second in base on balls allowed, which is great, the least amount of base on balls allowed, and we were third strikeouts. And it's primarily for two reasons. Number one, our starting pitching, we know that we have the most 6 innings and the most 7 innings by starting pitching. Our starting pitching threw the most innings, and our relief pitching threw the least amount of innings in all of baseball. That's the 930 and the 510. But then you see here, the starting pitching has the third most wins and has the second best ERA in baseball among all starting pitchers in baseball. And one important thing, our relief pitching is 14th in wins with 33. Our relief pitching have improved his ERA from 26, 27. Now we're up to 20th. So our relief pitching have been much better in the second half than they were in the first half of the year. In terms of overall save opportunities, we're number one in baseball at 74. And we're second in terms of tied with about 3 or 4 teams with 47 saves the entire year. But we're 7th with the most blown saves in baseball. So it's something to keep in mind. And our starting pitching, the 6th amount of least base on balls and number one in terms of strikeouts, in terms of most strikeouts. Anything here, guys, that you want to call your attention? That calls your attention?
So here is an interesting thing. So you mentioned the blown saves, right? And the bullpen is certainly much better now with Duran. He's still their best reliever that they have. There's no question in my mind on that. But let me ask you guys, who? Let's say we're in game. It's game 1 against whoever. You're trying to protect a 1-run lead in the 8th inning, and here comes. Let's say it's the Dodgers, and here comes in the 8th inning, Ohtani, Betts, Freeman. Are you turning that over to Robertson, or is Duran going to be 2 innings?
Let's answer this question in a minute because I am putting you next to each other, and I'm putting you next to that. I mean, I'm telling you, this guy. I mean, he read my mind. By the way, there was no script prior to this. There's never a script around here for this show. Just a couple, like 3 or 4 slides, and we're going to jump into hitting. Where the Bader hit, where the Turner hit, how the injury by Turner could impact the lineup. We'll go over that, and then we'll go into pitching and who is going to pitch that 7th or 8th inning against Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. Hang tight, I promise. So here we go. The journey to the title begins. here's the reality. So I would have much better being in the shoes of the Milwaukee Brewers than in the Pittsburgh Pirates, than in the Phillies, because I don't like the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers to me, out of this entire National League, is the most dangerous team. They were in the World Series last year. I do believe they have issues in the bullpen, but they have pitching. I mean, they have everybody's ready to. They put Sasaki in the bullpen. Their Achilles heel is the bullpen. But let's see how they're going to manage that. But that's a team that worries me the most. So we'll go at the end and we'll see who everybody picks. I mean, we'll do a fun exercise to see who do you guys pick. But let's get into this. You stole the show there, Anthony. Here's his slide, right? Everything has a sequence, dude. So the Phillies have the best power ranking. And to me, the reason the Phillies have the best odds is because the Dodgers have to play one more series. If the Dodgers would not have to play one more series, I believe the Dodgers will be ahead of the Phillies right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So again, look, it's a good problem to have. I mean, I'm a little nervous because of the high expectations, but look, the Phillies have a great team. It's just more, can they execute? And that's where I go with that I said in the beginning. The mindset is going to be very, very important as we approach this. The mental part of this is as important as the physical part of what you're capable of doing, because it's do or die. I mean, that's the reality of the thing. So the Reds have the least amount. The Guardians, I can't believe the Guardians made the playoffs, guys. I mean, look at this. Here we go. This is a slide that has, I'm going to go from up top. So this is, first of all, it has the National League on top and the American League on the bottom. It has the record. The record against 500 teams is the second column. And then I have the records before the All-Star game and after the All-Star game. And then last but not least, how do they rank in terms of run score and how they rank in terms of ERA? Clear? So let's go with the National League. So you can see, I mean, look at all the green. I mean, that's the idea of the green, is that you're significantly above. Both Milwaukee and the Phillies are the two teams that are green across the board. They're in the top 10 in terms of run scores, in the top 10 or ERA. They've done a great job all year beating 500 teams. You see the Dodgers, and then you start seeing, look at the Dodgers in the second half of the year, 35-30. Their bullpen faltered. That is an issue. They're the 16th best team in terms of ERA. They have an issue in the bullpen, and if they're not able to solve that issue in the postseason, they're going to lose at some point. So it's something to keep in mind. Look at the Cubs. Look at the Cubs against 500 and above teams, and look at how they did it after the All-Star game, 35-31. They're still fifth in terms of run score and ninth in terms of ERA. But the two things, I mean, again, I do a lot of analytics work and I look at a lot of the things. And to me, what this tells me is they had issues against 500 teams and they've been faltering. And we know without Tucker being 100% and their hitting has not been as hot, and they have the fifth best run scores in all of baseball. I do believe that this team could have an issue making it even before the Padres. I do like the Padres ahead of the Cubs because of the relief pitching, because of the tremendous pitching. Look at the pitching of the Padres in terms of ERA, 3.63, and their bullpen is probably the best in all of baseball, in my view. I mean, Mason Miller, and they have Suarez, which led the National League in saves. I mean, they have a tremendous, but they do have to hit better. Now, they hit better in the second half of the year once they had O'Neill and some of the guys that came in after the trades, because they spent significant money after the trade. And look at their numbers after the trade, 38-28. So they had a very good record after the trade, not compared to, for example, Cincinnati. I mean, look at Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not going to go far. Look how all the yellows in here. There's no way. They were 32, 33, and 32 after the postseason. They're 44 and 42 versus 500 teams. They're going to have a hard time. Any thoughts in the National League before we go to the American League?
I would say I think the Padres will beat the Cubs, but unless the Padres right now have one starting pitcher that I trust, and it's Nick Pivetta. Like, Yu Darvish had a terrible season. Dylan Cease had a bad season by his standards. Michael King is really good. He missed a lot of the season injury-wise. So I like their bullpen a lot, and I think they can win a short series. But as it gets to 4 or to 5 and 7 game series, I have questions. I wouldn't pick the Cubs over anybody right now, to be quite honest with you.
Tim, imagine yourself saying that the one pitcher in a rotation that you trust is Nick Pivetta,
right?
5 years ago.
Even that's only goes so far. Like, Nick Pivetta, in terms of the game one starters in these series, would not be near the top for me. But
how did King pitch at the end? How did he pitch in the last couple outings that he had? I know he was pitching Saturday. I saw him, but I couldn't see the game.
Yeah, Cease hasn't pitched well, and King has pitched well, and I don't know off the top of my head on Pivetta. But
Pivetta, I can tell you in Pivetta's last couple of starts, his last start was not great. I mean, it was 5 2/3. He allowed 3 runs, walked 5 in that game. But he was, and the game before that was 4 2/3, gave up 3 runs. So it's been a bit. It's been, last time he had a good start was against the Reds on September 10th. He went 7 shutout innings.
Well, and I would say, speaking of the Reds, I think they have a lot more of a chance than I think a lot of people otherwise think. I don't think they have the offense to win a 7-game series, certainly, and maybe even a 5-game series. But they have good enough starting pitching that if you told me they win one game 1-0, and they win another game where the Dodgers are leading them 4-0 in the 7th inning, and then the Reds come back on their bullpen and win the series that way, it wouldn't shock me at all. So I would pick the Dodgers to win, but I think that series is a lot closer than most people think.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest issue with them is they win 1-5 against the Dodgers during the regular season. Hunter Green pitched against them. They scored 5 runs. He lost 7-0 that game. I mean, look, they need to steal a game. And we know that 3-game series, I mean, anything could happen. If Crochet goes tomorrow and beat the Yankees are going to have a hard time winning the whole series, because it's going to be, I mean, they're going to have the whole mental part of the game is so important that they're going to put so much pressure on themselves, and they're not going to start hitting and all of that. So, look, if Hunter Green can beat them tomorrow against Snell, look, anything could happen. And we know the issue with Snell, that he doesn't pitch more than 5 innings. So it's going to be very interesting.
Do the Dodgers have a pitcher that pitches more than 5 innings?
No.
I mean, maybe Glasnow. Maybe.
We don't even know if they're going to use Glasnow as a starter necessarily.
Remember what we did to Glasnow, by the way? That day the rain started raining and the guy collapsed. I mean, he started throwing. I mean, again, the mental makeup of this whole thing could be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I still look at the Dodgers, and as much as Blake Snell is 2-time Cy Young Award winner and Yamamoto had a great season, the pitcher that would scare me the most is Ohtani, and I don't even think it's that close. He didn't allow a run in September. I mean, if you ever catch yourself thinking, oh, Ohtani's being overhyped, no, he's not.
He's a 290 ERA guy. I mean, in his career. I mean, he's good. I mean,
that's his second best thing. Like, he's definitely a better hitter than a pitcher.
Hey, Rafael Marchand got a hit against him. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, anything is possible. Come on. Look, the reality is, I mean, it's Cincinnati's going to have, in my opinion, a hard time. But if they can steal game 1, anything could happen. So let's talk about the American League right quick. Look, Cleveland. Look at the Cleveland numbers, guys. I mean, how in the world, 42-47 against 500 teams? They by the way, believe it or not, they had the best winning record in the post after the All-Star game. 42-25. The Phillies were 41-25, as well as Milwaukee and the Yankees. I mean, it's amazing what they did, and they did it with their 28th in run score. But they're 5th in pitching. I mean, and Williams, I really like the guy that's going to pitch against Kubo yesterday, and he actually beat him last week.
Yeah,
so it'll be very, very interesting. I mean,
they're 5th in pitching, but like they didn't have the same bullpen as last year. You lost Clase for probably forever. Same with Luis Ortiz. Like last year, they had like one of the best bullpens of all time. This year, they still have some really good arms down there, but it's not like they have an all-time rotation. To be 28th in runs scored and in the playoffs at all, Stephen Vogt should absolutely win Manager of the Year a second year in a row, because it's unexplainable to be that good for a team that doesn't have. They made the LCS last year. They got rid of Josh Naylor. They replaced him with Carlos Santana, who didn't even last the full season on the team. So,
and Carlos Baerga is our secret. I mean, is their secret weapon? I mean, he's my hermano, my buddy, Carlos Baerga. He makes it happen.
Well, there's a few times this year he probably could have been in the lineup and been one of the better hitters for them. And
probably
they're somehow.
By the way, if you have not heard the call of Noel, the guy that called Noel is like Santa Claus in Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, that was incredible. I mean, with the home run by I forgot his first name, but Noel.
Big Christmas.
Yeah, big Christmas.
Welcome to Christmas. That was an incredible call by them. So, look, the series, Yankees and Red Sox. I mean, it's a coin flip. I do believe the Yankees are playing really good baseball right now. If they keep the momentum, they're going to be able to win the series. And if you ask me, to me right now, and I said about 2 months ago that they might miss. When I go into the Carlos Baerga show, they have a lot of people that are Yankees fan. I basically said they're not going to make the playoffs. They were going crazy in the thing, but they're the best team in my opinion right now in the American League. I mean, they could make the World Series.
Yeah, I don't think they are, but I think the Mariners are the best team in the AL right now. But and honestly, like if you just ask me who's better, Yankees or Red Sox right now, I'd probably say Yankees, especially since the Red Sox don't have Roman Anthony. But Garrett Crochet's on the mound tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, they're only one win away from eliminating the Yankees.
That's what we talked about. I mean,
Max Fried, is a tremendous pitcher, and I know some of the times he's had injuries coming into the postseason, but he does not have a very good history in the postseason. Now, Crochet's only ever been a reliever in the postseason, so we'll see what he does. But I'm tempted to pick the Red Sox in that series because you got Garrett Crochet going game one. It's the same thing with the Tigers in game one of that series. Now, if you lose game one, it's super deflating. But having that guy on the mound, having a Cy Young level pitcher go in game one, it's such a massive advantage in a best of three series.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, to me, if you want, pick the wild card. Who you're going in the wild card? LA versus Cincinnati. I'm
going LA, although I think it's closer than most people think. Taking San Diego over the Cubs. I would go. I'm going to take Red Sox over Yankees, and then I'll go. What's the other one? Mariners,
Cleveland, and Detroit.
Oh, Cleveland and Detroit. I'm going to go. I'm going to go Detroit because you got Tarek Skubal going game one. Now, Detroit's pitching after Skubal is very suspect. So if they don't win game one, it's a wrap.
28 and 37 after the All-Star game, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Tarek Skubal, I don't like to pick against.
Yeah, no, that's true. How about you, Anthony?
In the wild cards, I'm going Detroit over Cleveland. I'm going the Yankees over Boston. I'm going Dodgers over the Reds, and I'm taking the Cubs over the Padres.
Oh wow, that's good. How about you, Nick?
I got the Dodgers over the Reds. Although I do think, for the Reds' sake, this is why the expanded playoffs are like. This is for like a team like the Reds, where they can like steal a series or something. But I don't think that's going to happen this year.
I mean, you can help them, dude. You can help them. I mean,
yeah, man. Like, I wouldn't mind it, right? But I think I'll go Dodgers over Reds. I'll go Padres over Cubs. I'll do Yankees over Red Sox, and I will take the Tigers over the Guardians.
Okay. So I go Dodgers. I go San Diego. I'm going to go Yankees, and I'm going to go Cleveland. I'm the only one going with Cleveland. So there's something
breaking news in the MLB. Bruce Bochy
out
as the manager of Texas.
Oh wow.
Yeah, well, I heard he was going to retire, and Schumacher might.
Yeah, they got Skip Schumacher there. Yeah. They'd lose him if they don't promote him this year. So the the Rangers, like, I don't really know where they go from here because they have so many veteran guys signed that underachieved this season, and you kind of just got to hope they play better next year.
Yeah, Bruce Bochy was having physical issues too. So
yeah, I can say from having been at games he covered at home and in Texas, like he really was struggling to move since he's come back. Like the benches on in the Rangers dugout were really high, and I remember he had issues even getting up on there. So it's difficult to do that job when you can't move well.
From our friend Tyler from Phil's Tailgate, I mean, I got this. The past 3 years, the second seed did not make the World Series. So in the American League, the Yankees lost to the Astros in 2022. The Astros lost to the Rangers in 23. The Guardians lost in the American League Championship Series against the Yankees in 2024. Braves lost to the Phils. Dodgers have lost to the D-backs, and the Phils lost to the Mets. I took the S out. They lost it after yesterday. But
Yeah,
They don't deserve it.
they don't deserve the full spelling.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. I promise I didn't do it on purpose. Look, they didn't even make the championship series, did they? I mean, in the National League.
Not once. Not once.
Look, hopefully the crowd on Wednesday can do the magic and do all of the things. Here on the right-hand side is a matchup, so the Phils against anyone that they could face in the National League playoffs. 4-2 against the Dodgers and 4-2 against the Cubs. We tied the series against the Reds, and then we lost the series against the Brewers, and we tied the Padres as well. So that's kind of the reality. So
here's a little history for you, Oscar. 1983, the Phillies lost 11 of 12 in the regular season to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers went 11-1 against the Phillies. They met in the NLCS, and the Phillies beat them in 4.
Hey,
regular season doesn't matter.
Told you, winning mentality. I mean, it's whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Okay, here we go. We're going to talk rotation, relief pitching, and hitting. Okay, there's like 4 or 5 more slides. No more than that. So here is, I mean, in my opinion, and I would love your thoughts on this. From the postseason, what you see here is the stats during the year. Between Ranger, you see Aaron Nola, you see Luzardo, Walker Buehler, and Christopher Sanchez. This, to me, are the 5 candidates that could be in the rotation. In my opinion, Ranger, I mean, I didn't put him in order. I put Ranger on top because he has the most games, and also the ERA. Ranger has 10 games in the postseason. He's 3-1, 1.43 ERA. He's pitched 37 innings, and he struck out 40 in those 37 innings, and he has a record of 3-1 and a 1.43 ERA. Then come Christopher Sanchez, only 2 games in the postseason, 386, 7 innings, 7.1 innings, 6 strikeouts. Luzardo, 4 games, 0-2, 6.14 ERA, 14 strikeouts, 14 innings, 16 strikeouts. Nola, a decent 4.02 ERA in 10 games, 5-4, 53 innings, 58 strikeouts. And then Walker Buehler, 19 games, 94 innings. I mean, significantly more experience in the postseason than anyone we have in this pitching staff. A 3.04 ERA. And again, most of this, except last year's, I think last year he pitched 6. It's actually in the next slide. He pitched 15 innings in the last postseason. He went 1-1 with a 3.60 ERA, but the last 13 innings were consecutive scoreless innings. This guy has a lot of experience in the postseason. So, welcome your thoughts. I mean, do you believe he's going to be? We know Sanchi's pitching game 1. Is it Sanchi, Ranger, Luzardo? And then Nola for a potential game 4, maybe in the second series, and then Buehler move to the bullpen. How do you guys see this?
You want to go first, Tim, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I thought you were going to go. Sanchez game 1. I think it's pretty obvious you go game 2 with Ranger Suarez to break up the 2 power lefties, and then game 3, Jesus Luzardo. Rob Thompson did say last week that he wouldn't hesitate to use 3 lefties in a row. I think that's all you need, especially with the day off between games 1 and 2. That's all you need for the NLDS. And then if you get to the NLCS, you revisit it. But I would be floored if it's not Aaron Nola as the fourth starter. So I think Walker Buehler's out of the bullpen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think. I'll give you a slightly different scenario, but not. I mean, I think Tim's spot on. I think it's going to be the three lefties, but I think both Nola and Buehler are going to serve as piggybacks in games 2 and 3. And not to say that you're definitely going to pull Ranger or Luzardo early, but I think that the plan is going to be go with them for 3 to 4 innings, maybe one time, maybe use 2 starters to get through the lineup twice and then hand it over to the bullpen.
Like what we did against the Braves on game 1 that we stole that game where Ranger went 4.1 innings, and then we came in with every reliever that we threw hard because we knew their OPS would go significantly lower after somebody that threw 97 miles an hour.
Yes, and so, but I think that they're going to look to have those guys. And look, you might not need it. Maybe Luzardo's on his game and he can give you 6 innings, right? And then you don't need the bulk reliever. But I think
whatever it takes.
I think you're going to see Nola and Buehler line up in the first round behind them. If you need another starter in the second, and if you get past the first round and you go to the NLCS, Aaron Nola will be the 4th starter.
Yeah, and I don't know this for a fact. I would guess that Jesus Luzardo is like he goes X number of batters and he's done regardless of how he's pitching. I think you have a hook on Jesus Luzardo. Like he goes 4 1/3, something like that. And I mean, Ranger Suarez was dealing in Atlanta 2 years ago when they removed him after 4 1/3, and it worked. I think you get proactive and you don't let it get into a situation where all of a sudden Jesus Luzardo has pitched 5 shutout innings, but then he comes back out for the 6th inning, 2 guys get on base, and the game blows up on you. I don't think they're going to let it get to that spot.
I really believe that they're going to go by outs and they're not going to worry about innings. They're going to say, we want this guy to get 9 outs, and then we want this guy to get 6 outs, and then this guy to get 3, whatever it is, right? They're going to have that all mapped out, I think, in the Luzardo start for sure. I agree with Tim, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had something ready if Ranger doesn't look great early in his start as well.
Well, and the thing with Walker Buehler is I do agree with you in terms of beginning the playoffs. That way of using him makes sense, but depending upon how he pitches, but B, how Orion Kerkering and David Robertson pitch, you may need him in a higher leverage relief role as well. So he's really a wild card here because Kerkering and Robertson, they pitched well over the weekend, but they had some questionable outings in September. If they're not pitching well and you don't trust them, then maybe it gets to a point where you have to use Walker Buehler as more of like a 7th or 8th inning guy.
I like what he says, a battle, and we should fight till the end. It's the reality. It's now or never. I mean, that's the only thing that I'd say.
Yeah,
now or never, and that's a mentality we need to have. Go ahead.
And it's him. Does Taijuan Walker fit into any of that scenario as a guy coming in after 3 or 4 innings for someone? Do you think?
I think he fits if they're getting blown out or they're blowing the other team out. I don't mean that disrespectfully. I think that's kind of what his role is. He's the guy that comes in if the game is in hand and the pitcher has to come out, or you've lost the game and you're trying to survive until tomorrow. I think you bring Taijuan Walker in to save your bullpen.
And there's one other option for Taijuan Walker, and that's, don't forget, in the postseason, extra innings does not use the ghost runner, right? Thankfully. So the possibility exists of a game going much longer. You do need a guy on the back end who can throw multiple innings in case it gets to that point. And so Taijuan also serves in that role.
There is the possibility that in the first 5-game series, is there an extra one less pitcher, or are you guys bringing everybody?
Well, I tried to get Rob Thompson to say that yesterday, and he wouldn't take the bait. So I do think they take 14 position players and 12. You don't need 13 pitchers in a best of 5 series where you have off between games 1 and 2 and games 2 and 3 and games 4 and 5. You don't need it. So
and if you need to fill innings, you throw Taijuan there, and
I still think even with that, you're talking about probably Lou Trevino is the guy that doesn't make the roster if you cut down a pitcher.
I agree. So, and
Bino
I
and
try
Max
to
will
do this
start.
in order. I try to do this in order in terms of high leverage. So Duran, Robertson, Strom, Banks, Kerkering, Maisa, and Trevino, based on how they've been pitching lately. And something that surprised me is look at the amount of experience. I mean, there's experience. Robertson, I mean, 42 games in the postseason. I mean, 6-0. The guy's 6-0. If he doesn't have, if I have the save, like one save here is 0-0. I mean, they don't have any record. So Duran has 4 games. He's pitched 5 innings, 6 strikeouts. He has not allowed a run, and he's saved 2 games. He did that with the Twins in 2023. Robertson has pitched forever, 42 games, 6-0. He actually has 1 save, and I believe that save was Game 1 of the World Series against Houston. That game, it was a terrifying game. I mean,
by the skin of his teeth.
Yes.
If the umpire doesn't call the guy for leaning into the pitch, the Phillies maybe get the series goes even worse. Put it that way.
Oh my! Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Now, Matt Strom has not pitched well in the postseason. I mean, he's allowed home runs. He has 1 save, but in 14 games, he has a 6.57 ERA. He did not look good last year.
Yeah.
So that is something to keep in mind, potentially bringing back up, depending on. To me, Banks is a guy that you got 2 men on base and you need 1 less out, and Banks is a guy coming in. I mean, he had like the Kerkering inning, what Kerkering was doing last year. But Kerkering needs to step. I mean, I know he pitched well the last outing, but we need Kerkering at full swing, and he'll have the opportunity.
Well, we don't have our Kerkering correspondent on the show tonight to talk about it.
What was that? Oh, yeah. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. He's doing NFL stuff. Look, I like Kerkering. He's a great kid. He has all the potential in the world. He'll have his opportunity. Let's just put it that way. He will have his opportunity, and mindset, man. Winning mindset, no matter what, get it through. I mean, that's it.
Well, the one thing that I think a lot of people forget is that, yes, we're down to just the 12 teams, but there's a month left if you want to win this whole thing, right? You got to play baseball for another month, right? And look at it that way. Kerkering, like you just said, he's going to get opportunities. Maybe in the first couple games, his opportunities are not as high leverage. But if he shows that he could get back to pitching that way later in the playoffs, maybe, and you're still in, maybe he gets into those high leverage spots. It could still evolve. Just because it's going to be a certain way in Game 1 and Game 2 of the NLDS does not mean that that's how it's going to be in the World Series.
I look at it as we have 11 games that we need to win, no matter what. 11 games. Yeah. How many series it is, how long does it take, whatever it takes, 11 games, 1 at a time. I mean, but by the way, I learned that from Tupper. In 2022, that was his mindset. I think that's the mindset this team needs to have. I mean, 1 more team, how many more, JT? 11 more, but 1 game at a time. I remember being in the elevator with him, and he basically said, no, it's not about 10 more wins. It's about the next game. And that needs to be the mindset going in this time around. Look, I agree 100%. Walker Buehler is your extra innings guy. You need to fill in 3 innings, and he's the guy that I'm throwing out there. I mean,
Taiwan Walker.
Yeah, Taiwan Walker. Yeah. Who did I say?
Walker Buehler.
You said Walker Buehler.
Walker Buehler. No. Taiwan Walker. I think Walker Buehler will be the ace coming out in many different ways. I think I see Walker Buehler coming in on an 8th inning with the toughest guys going out there. I think he's the ace underneath your sleeve. He has a 0.9. I know he did not pitch well, and he's mad at himself when he is not executing pitches the way he wants. But the dude has a 0.96 ERA since he joined the Phillies. Yeah. I mean, and he has the mind. I love his mindset. He definitely has like an edge. You can tell he has that mindset that makes you a great pitcher. I would question how I mean, obviously 0.96 isn't sustainable, but there were a lot of those games where he was missing spots or giving up hard hits and they were hit at guys. Like, I don't know that I'd go to that well too many times, but you're right. He's going to be a key piece. And really what stands out to me from the pitching as a whole
is how important the lefties are going to be. You have 3 lefty starters. You're assuming Mays is going to have 3 lefty relievers, and it's going to be all hands on deck because if you face the Dodgers, you got Ohtani and Freeman. If you face the Reds, you have Ellie De La Cruz, who you want to turn around and make hit right-handed as opposed to left-handed.
Absolutely.
And I mean, the Padres are maybe the exception, but if you play the Cubs, you're going to have Kyle Tucker. So most of these teams, you're going to need you're probably going to want a different lefty facing the guy almost every time they're up at the plate.
Let me throw you this scenario. We're playing the Dodgers. I mean, let's make the assumption we're playing the Dodgers, and we're winning 2-1 in the 7th inning. You have the option of picking anyone you want. Who are you throwing out there in the 7th inning?
I would probably go with Matt Strahm because he's pitched really well against Ohtani to this point, dating back to last season. But
yeah, it depends on where you're at in the lineup.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Ohtani, Bed, and Freeman.
Yeah, I would probably go with Strahm, but
Strahm.
I never thought that Tanner Banks would pitch his way into consideration for this, and he's pitched so well this season. I would not be hesitant at all to put him out there in a situation.
He's a high leverage guy. He loved the moment, dude. He loved the moment.
Let me go back to the question that I asked initially, though. And you said 7th inning, so that's why I said it's Strahm. But let's say it's now the 8th inning, or maybe you only need to get 2 outs in the 8th inning instead of 3. Are you thinking about Duran for more than 1 inning?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it just depends on the situation. Are you up by 1 run or are you up by 3 runs, I guess would be my question.
So he's going to do the
one-run
Edwin
game.
Diaz approach of I don't know. I think maybe a 4 out. I feel more comfortable than being 5 outs.
Yeah, I'd be careful how many times you go to that well because this is the weird thing. Like Rob Thompson talked for the last couple of weeks about wanting to potentially get Duran a 4-out save, and it just never happened. And now you would ask him to do that in the playoffs when he hasn't done it all season. It's not ideal. But, yeah, I mean, I can definitely envision a scenario where, let's say, 2 outs in the 8th inning and Teoscar Hernandez is coming up with 2 runners on base. You bring Duran in for the last out of the 8th inning and then back out for the 9th.
Well, and the other thing you could do is you bring Duran earlier, which it's very possible this could happen. If you have the core of the lineup, you bring Duran earlier and then you close with Robertson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a very high likelihood or what could happen. I mean, you need one more out in the 7th inning, and then you have Betts and Freeman coming in the next inning. You might just go in and go with your closer. I mean,
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, just so you know, he did do it twice this year, just not for the Phillies.
Okay. Yeah.
How did he do?
Well, he did it twice in July. Once he went 2 innings, didn't give up a run, and the other time he went 2 innings, but he did give up 2 runs, although it looks like it was including an extra inning. So one of those runs might have been the ghost runner.
What games were the Twins playing in July that were so important that they had to put Joan Duran?
So I'm pretty sure.
Maybe?
I'm pretty sure you're probably talking to teams at that point, and teams are probably asking, "Can he do more than 1 inning?"
Yeah.
You have the date. You have the date of that.
It was July 5th against Tampa, and then July 22nd against the Dodgers.
So the one when he allowed the runs, which was it?
The Dodgers. That was the first home run that he allowed all year. It was at Dodger Stadium. The second home run he allowed all year was at Dodger Stadium with the Phillies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saved against. Let's see here. He didn't save against the Dodgers in July.
July 22nd was the date.
July 22nd.
Yeah.
He didn't lose that game.
No, they won the game. The Twins.
They won 10-7.
Yeah, the Twins won the game, but he pitched 2 innings.
He pitched, let's see here. Duran pitched the last 2 innings. 3 hits, 2 runs. So they were winning 10 whatever, 5 or whatever, and he allowed 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs.
Yeah.
Interesting. Look, I would try to minimize it and key moments, win or lose. I mean, you bring that arm.
Yeah, it would be what you did with Sir Anthony Dominguez and Jose Alvarado in 2022.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, back then, though, you really only had those two guys. You had Robertson that year, but he was out of gas. The rest of your bullpen, like, you were relying on, like, Brad Hand and different guys. Like, this year you have a better overall supporting cast where you shouldn't have to burn those guys out that same way.
Yeah, and you burned them earlier. I mean, I remember how much they had to pitch in the St. Louis series, and then when they got at the end, I mean, they were gassed against Atlanta. I mean, getting them out 4.1 innings with Ranger, and then bringing your entire bullpen. I mean, that was. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. So, got it. Here is the interesting dynamic. How much will Castellano play? Should Castellano play? And then the other one is, where do we hit Bader? Those are two key questions. Here are the stats in the postseason. They're not great. Kepler did not look good. 2 years ago, he had like 20 at-bats. He struck out like 13 times with Minnesota in 2013. It did not look good at all. So I'm wondering if they give Castellanos a little bit more playing time. I mean, we know Bader and March are going to be the core guys in center and left. The question is, do they play Castellanos a little bit more based on the postseason he had last year?
Well, I would say, yeah, I would imagine they're going to do what they've done. They're going to have the platoon. So if you're facing lefty starters, Castellanos will be in, and you may be with like Blake Snell. If you're facing righty starters, I think Kepler's in. Now, that doesn't mean they're in the whole game. And I mean, I would also have Weston Wilson as a consideration here too with Kemp in left field. So, but I would say Castellanos, the thing about him, his overall postseason numbers aren't great, but in the NLDS specifically, he's been incredible. Last year, he was really their only hitter that showed up. 2 years before that against the Braves,
he had 5 home runs.
Yeah, he had like 2 multi-homer games. The year before that against the Braves, he had a terrible season the entire year except for the NLDS. So for whatever reason, in that round of the playoffs specifically, he's been on fire. So if Nick Castellanos comes out game 1 and hits 2 home runs, then maybe you reevaluate.
Here you go. Just to back up what Tim just said. In the NLDS, in his career, Nick Castellanos is 19 for 48, which is a 396 batting average. He slugs 750 with a 1.181 OPS, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs in 12 games.
And that doesn't even count like the catch he made in Atlanta in 2022. And he's been
good. That's why I asked the question: should Castellanos play more? I mean, in other words, should Castellanos play more?
If like Blake Snell's on the mound game 1 for the Dodgers, Castellanos will play, and depending on how he looks that day, you go with maybe you play him in game 2 against a righty. I think if Ohtani's on the mound, though, you're going to go with Marsh and Kepler in the corners and Bader in center field, or Yamamoto or Hunter Green. But then the Reds have 2 lefties that are tough too. So I think it's going to take everyone.
Yeah, it's going to take everyone. But I would consider playing Castellanos a little bit more. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I think it's great to have these options because I feel like we haven't had that last year or the year before. Yes, Castellanos had a great NLDS last year and the year before. But, I mean, like, the fact that you can actually think about bringing him in late in a game instead of starting him the whole game, I think bodes well for Castellanos generally. I don't know how bad his knee is. Like, I mean, you guys are around him. Like, is his knee still hampering him? I don't know. But
the next question, I don't think it's an issue right now. I mean, to me, it's more a matter of giving him the playing time. Yeah. The other big question is,
and Kepler's come on too. So
yeah. So before we answer the Bader thing, the one thing I want to throw in that's an additional thing to this is, I think it's a very real chance that Johan Rojas is on the NLDS roster. And if that's the case, the reason that he's there, besides being able to be a pinch runner, is in fact, if you're in this situation where you start Max Kepler, for example, and they decide to bring a lefty reliever out of the pen. Let's say the Dodgers go to Vesia, who's one of their better,
or Banda, or
right?
Yeah.
Okay, or Banda, right? Or even I guess Kershaw won't be on the roster, but
yeah.
So if they go to one of those guys, you pinch hit with Castellanos. And then if you're tied or ahead, you probably take Castellanos out and put Rojas in for defense. Right. So I think it gives them a little bit more flexibility with this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, and it's something I'm really unsure how they're going to do that with those final spots. I guess if Rojas is on, who is off? Kemp or Wilson?
Probably Kemp.
Yeah, I thought that, but Kemp has played.
He's hitting much better.
I'm really torn on it. But Wilson has been the guy that actually gets those starts. I don't know. I understand the strategy argument. For me, maybe I'm a little too about who deserves it.
Or maybe they have the one less pitcher, and then you can carry both of them. I mean,
even if you carry 14.
Well, if you carry Rojas, then you have
if you're bringing Rojas, only one of Kemp and Wilson.
Now Rojas, do we know what's the situation with his leg? Because he
that's
was hurt.
The thing. Yeah, we'll find that out tomorrow. He's at the Stay Ready camp or whatever they're calling it at Lehigh Valley, so we'll know more tomorrow about what his status is. And anyone worried about it, I don't think there's any chance, unless a game went to extra innings, that Rojas would actually bat. I think he's going to be a pinch runner and a fielder. And I can imagine a scenario where he helps win you a game. I can also imagine a scenario where he gets picked off of second base or does it. It's reality with Johan Rojas. The talent is there, but at times the focus or whatever you want to call it has lacked behind that.
Now, I do like how Bader plays the walls. I mean, the guy's like a master out there in center field. So, and I do believe this. I mean, I understand the speed of Rojas out there defensively. Would they move Bader to left field and then march to right? Is that how they do it?
It's interesting. I mean, I think I wouldn't want to move Bader, but I think Rojas is so much more comfortable in center. Bader mostly played left for the Twins this year because they had Buxton, and he graded out really well there. So, I think you move Marsh to right field, assuming he's in the game. So you have Marsh or Kepler in right field, and then you would have Bader in left and Rojas in center. That would probably be how you do it. I get the idea of it, and it's probably going to be a moot point by the NLCS because you're going to add back in the extra pitcher. So even if Rojas is on this round, he probably won't be the next round. It's a weird dynamic, though, because he hasn't been on the team since the trade deadline. At times, it kind of felt like he was a forgotten man. For him to come back in now over guys that had big hits for you in September and Wilson and Kemp over one of them, there is a part of me that's like, does he deserve it? But I get it from a strategy sense that maybe Kemp and Wilson are redundant. So I'm really unsure how they're going to do that final spot.
Turner, Schwarber, Harper, continue building from there the lineup.
Well, they'll probably start with Bohm.
Yeah, I think Bohm.
Bohm 4, Marsh 5, Bader 6.
Okay.
Kepler's Real Muto, Kepler, Stott. Although I don't know if you want to go back-to-back lefties. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Well, I think you can go back-to-back lefties because the second lefty pitcher comes in, both those guys are probably coming out of the game. Certainly Kepler.
Bader is going to 6. He's going to hit behind Baum and March potentially.
Yeah, and Rob Thompson did say yesterday if Trey Turner's in the lineup, Trey Turner's leading off. So I know there had been some debate. Bader's cooled off a little bit anyway, so there's no question.
And JT as well. JT has cooled off as well.
There's no question in my mind that Trey Turner's your leadoff hitter.
Yeah, there's no shot they hit Bader too and move Schwarber behind Harper.
No, you got to have Kyle Schwarber batting in the first inning, I think.
So take a look at this. Harper, a monster in postseason. 53 games, 280 average, 1.016 OPS, 17 home runs. Turner, only 690 in terms of OPS with 12 stolen bases. I think he has 6 home runs as well in 60 games, average of 257. Alec Bohm, Stott, and Mundito. Mundito has only 17 at-bats, but Bohm, 629 OPS. The average of OPS in Major League Baseball is 720.
Well, and just to be clear, Mundito is Edmundo Sosa because in English, nobody calls him that.
I mean, La Familia, La Familia. No, I
know. I'm just saying I hadn't heard anybody call him that till you.
Yeah, no, that's true. Sorry about that. So it's Sosa only 17 at-bats. But Baum is 34 games, 214 average, and Stott 33 games, 188. Stott has that home run against Miami. I put more the doubles because it was what I think. Baum has 1 home run and 8 doubles. I mean, the numbers
Scott had the big hit against the Mets in the 1 win last year.
That's true. That's true. A double. Was it a double?
Yeah, it was. He went to it was a triple. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing hit that homer right after that.
Yeah. Right. I said the one thing I'll say about Stott, though, I mean, you look at those numbers. I think that what you're seeing out of Bryson Stott since the end of July is a different batter.
I agree.
Right. And the way, he changed his whole approach to the plate, and you're seeing a different hitter. And I don't necessarily think that you're going to see the same slow bat coming through the zone, right, and hitting that little weak pop up to left field or whatever. I think you're going to see more aggressive at bats with some pull side action to it. So I'm not worried as much about Stott. Bohm, I'm with you. Those numbers are a little bit scary, and I'm not certain that he gets a ton better. And
that's why Bader, it might not be a crazy idea, even though I know Baum makes a lot more contact. But Bader, I like his. I mean, he hit 5 home runs with the Yankees 2 years ago.
So I think that that's a possibility at some point, Oscar. But I don't think they'll start game 1 that way.
No, and I think Baum looked pretty good after coming back from the.
That's
injury.
True. That's an absolutely true statement.
As far as this question, I think Sosa and Stott will split the time. If it's a lefty pitcher, Sosa starts. If it's a righty pitcher, Stott starts. What they've done for most of the season, to me, yeah, I get it. Stott's gotten going, but Edmundo Sosa had a 3 home run game last week and then hit a home run the next time he started after that. So if you have the lead,
you put Sosa at shortstop, and you keep no.
They're not taking Trey Turner out. If Trey Turner's healthy, Trey Turner's playing.
I mean, that's the part that I'm worried about. I mean, remember what happened last year, and I know the injury is not as hard. I mean, it's a different grade than last year, but he was very hesitant to run. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I wish him nothing but the best, but I mean, I hope he can run because his speed is what separates him from a lot of players in baseball is his speed. That's the number one asset he has, his athleticism and his speed. So look, we just have to produce. I mean, this Baum, Stott, Sosa group, they need to produce much more than they produced in the past. And then you see there the Schwarber numbers, 21 home runs in 69 games, 906 OPS, and then the JT numbers, which are kind of, I would call them average in terms of OPS. And one of those 6 home runs was a game winner with Houston Astros. So
well, and the one final note on this slide, Schwarber is 4th in MLB history in postseason home runs. Manny Ramirez, Jose Altuve, and Bernie Williams are the only ones with more. And then Schwarber and Harper are tied for the most home runs in Phillies playoff history. I believe it's 12. So they each kind of have a chance to take the lead on that lead. I mean, eventually Bryce Harper's probably going to lead it because he'll just be here longer, even if Schwarber's re-signed in the offseason. But right now, like, Schwarber has a chance to go down as one of the greatest October hitters of all time.
I love this. Oh, my goodness. Amazing. Look, guys, that's what I had for today. Any final thoughts? I mean, the Phillies are favored, dude. It's not going to be easy.
I think it's going to be a Phillies-Mariners World Series. That's what I'm predicting.
Predicting Phillies-Mariners World Series. How about you, Anthony?
So I'm reluctant to make my pick on the Phillies yet, and then the reason I'll tell you is I want to watch the Dodgers against the Reds because I want to see how they're going to deploy their pitchers. Because right now I don't have any idea what their bullpen is going to look like. I have a feeling that they're going to have more starters in the bullpen coming out in bullpen roles than they would the guys that have been terrible for the past couple of months. But I want to see it first, and then I think if you get past the Dodgers, they go to the World Series. I don't think that there's another team in baseball that can compete with the Phillies right now. I think it's the Dodgers, and then that's it until you get to the World Series. I'm with Tim. I like the Mariners. I'm not sleeping on the Blue Jays yet. I think that the Blue Jays are are a very interesting team. They will have home field in the American League. So
their pitching is not as strong.
I'm
not
sleeping,
as strong. That's why I'm leaning Mariners.
I'm sleeping on the Blue Jays. I don't see it.
You don't think? I mean, in my opinion, it's going to be. And Nick, first you, please. Go ahead. Who do you think is going to make it to the World Series?
I agree with Tim. I think the Mariners are probably my favorite out of the AL, and of course the Phillies. Let's go.
Do I want a Mariners-Phillies series? Yes, I do believe it's going to be the Yankees. The Yankees are hot right now.
Revenge.
It's going to depend on their
2009.
pitching. I like their, believe it or not, their biggest weakness now is one of their biggest strengths. The relief pitching of the Yankees over the last month have taken a completely different turn. That's why I thought, a month ago, that they're not going to make the playoffs. But Bednar, Weaver is back pitching the way he was pitching in the beginning of the year. I really like their bullpen. I really like the bullpen.
Aaron
Williams
Judge
is pitching well.
Aaron Judge has to hit.
What was that?
Aaron Judge has to hit, which he
and
hasn't done.
Stanton is hot right now. I mean, he's getting.
He's not hitting. He's never hit in the postseason.
The other big interesting thing is going to be Volpe. What do they do at shortstop? I mean, the whole third base shortstop thing is a huge question mark on the Yankees as well.
Is Caballero available?
Caballero is available.
Yeah,
yes, he is.
Yeah, play him. He's better defensively.
Yeah, I know.
I just want to point out that Tim's only picking the Mariners because he wants to go to Seattle for the World Series. The only reason he's doing it.
Well, and I'm picking the Mariners also because at the infamous time that Nick Castellanos' foul ball destroyed my laptop, I was working on a slide about the Seattle Mariners. So I feel like there'd be something poetic about.
That's where Brandon Marsh made that miraculous catch last season, right?
Yeah.
So,
yes, it is.
Just before we close, who needs to be the guy that steps up the most on the Phillies to be able to beat the Dodgers or the Reds in the first series?
That's a good question. I think Jesus Luzardo. If Jesus Luzardo goes out and gives you a great outing, I mean, you have really good feeling about Sanchez and Suarez. You're a little less certain about Luzardo. I mean, it's possible Luzardo. Actually, no, it's not. He'll have to pitch in that series. So yes, Jesus Luzardo.
How about you?
I don't necessarily know if it's a step up kind of answer to that, but more so of an X factor. And I think it's Trey Turner. And I say that because we don't know what he's going to look like, right? I mean, 2 at-bats on Sunday don't tell you what Trey Turner is going to be. If Trey Turner is going to be the Trey Turner we had all season, Phillies are going to be fine. If Trey Turner's doesn't look anything like the way he was most of the season, then the Phillies are going to have a problem. So like I look at it, I don't think he has to necessarily step up. I just think he needs to be himself. And if he is, I think that's enough for the Phillies.
How about you, Nick? Who is the guy that needs to step up?
It's funny. Trey was the first name that popped in my head, but I'll go Alec Bohm. If you're going to hit number 4, man, you got to prove you can do it, especially in the NLDS. And who knows if he doesn't, if they reach the NLCS, if there would be a change there. I don't know. But I think Bohm definitely has something to prove.
In my case, it's Christopher Sanchez. He needs to prove that he's a big-time pitcher in the postseason. He doesn't have enough innings yet. He's done it. He's pitched a couple of games. Christopher Sanchez could be the difference for this team winning the World Series or not. He needs to be the number 1 starter in this team. And again, he has the staff. He has everything in his hands, and he's pitched unbelievable at Citizens Bank Park. He'll have a great opportunity. I do believe he needs to be the guy that leads the way from a pitching standpoint. Doesn't get any better than this, guys. Phillies in 3. Let's go. Phillies in 3. Let's go. Hey, guys, thank you so much. We'll try. I don't know yet what we're going to do. I need to talk to Jeff. Look, Jeff, bail us out. I mean,
come on. Get with the program, Jeff. It's the playoffs.
Hey, come on! You gotta defend your guys
you know what?
here. Come on,
Jeff will come back. You know, Ryan Kerr will get a save in Game 4, and Jeff will come back at the very next episode after that, just to talk about how great of an effort.
Jeff will schedule an episode, even if it's not a Sunday or a Monday. If it's a Wednesday and Orion Kerkering gets a save, Jeff will be like, we're doing Phillies Weekly tonight. I don't know if Oscar's got the slides ready, but we're doing the show.
Oh, man. Hey, the slides weren't that bad. Were they bad or what?
Oh, you did a good job. You did a lot of work.
I preempted your slides. You preempted me before the game. No,
yeah.
Hey, guys, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much for everyone out there. Tim, Anthony, Nick, you guys are the best. Nick, I can't wait for what's going to happen starting Saturday. I mean, please sleep a lot because you're going to be an extra charge. Follow them OnPattison, Crossing Broad. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. And go Phils. I mean, we got to ring the bell, guys. Campanazo. How about that, Nick? There you go.
Campanazo. Listen, there's going to be a post dropping on Crossing Broad tomorrow that you're heavily involved in, so keep an eye out for that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, my God. I'm in trouble, man. I'm in trouble. Guys, cannot thank you enough for everyone out there and for you guys for making this magic happen. Thank you for your wisdom. And look, whatever it takes. I'm not going to use the HELL word, but whatever it takes, guys. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Lanzamiento, aquí viene un batazo de Mundito entre right center field, la bola pica, se extiende, viene anotando Stott, empata el juego, también manda para la bola Turner anota y los Phillies se van arriba. Se prepara Mundito en segunda, el lanzamiento, batazo profundo para el center field, la bola se va, Schwarber Bob, campanazo. Aquí viene el lanzamiento. Swing y